we just have to focus on one opponent at a time. And the thing with Gauntlet is it's crazy that, you know, you play one opponent after another in best of 5. So we're going to have 2 best of 5s back to back. And it's really important to just conserve as much energy as possible for every game. We can play up to 10 games in the next 2 days. So if we can't keep 100% focus for each game, even we could lose to FlyQuest, we could lose to C9 if we just aren't playing to our usual levels. So I think it's just really important to keep 100% focus for every game and kind of not think about the big picture right now, because we're kind of in the middle of the gauntlet and we have to keep our heads in it.
And so far, CLG have kept their heads 2-1 up in this series. Logic Gaming versus FlyQuest here, of course, for those of you just joining us. FlyQuest now getting side selection in Game 4, chose blue side here. CLG, again, 1 game away. They've got 2 shots now, 1 game away to fight Cloud9 for that last spot at Worlds.
Yeah, and to speak about having to play back-to-back best of 5s, FlyQuest in a position to play 3, and CLG didn't know who they were playing until last night, right? Because they had to wait for the Team Dignitas versus FlyQuest series to complete. But now, being up 2 games to 1, it puts FlyQuest in an elimination game.
Yeah.
They have stayed alive due to their championship points from the spring split. A lot of other teams who would finish 7th place in the regular season would just be done and wait until 2018. But FlyQuest was kind of granted this second chance based on their spring split performance, and they have done a good job with it. But because they are now in this elimination game, they have to win the next 2. Otherwise, you know, all the memes about High's plot armor, the reverse sweeps, all of that stuff goes away, and FlyQuest would actually be eliminated. So the highest pressure game of the year is this one for FlyQuest.
And it is going to be this one right here. You see Moon staying hydrated. Weirdly, though, he's trying to absorb it through his skin. I don't think it works that way. But High ready to go onto this one, and we'll see if we get into picks and bans soon enough. Oh, actually, Darshan said, stay hydrated Brodies in chat right now. So they're all aware. Moon loves his memes. He's still rolling his nice, cool water bottle around.
Then there's a question, do you like room temperature water or cold water?
I like cold water.
High is for room temperature water. Moon is for cold water.
How about you?
I like room temperature water. I feel like cold water messes with my throat, makes it harder to talk.
That's fair. I just enjoyed like the crispness of it. It's nice and cool. I can like put it on my hands and calm them down as well. Either way, we are ready to go. Champ Select has begun for the 4th game of the series, and as you have mentioned, FlyQuest's backs are against the wall. They've got to win 2 straight to stay alive in the regional qualifier. Logic Gaming 2 shots at closing it out right now. As Darshan said, take it 1 game at a time, and we'll see how they take this one.
Yeah, the first pick, Xayah, came through last game, and I thought that was very effective for CLG. Obviously, they do not have the choice up the side here. That is very strange.
Heavy jungle bans. They know they're going to take the Jarvan away. They're going to ban Gragas next. You have to assume, otherwise why would you bother? And they're like, yep, they're going to throw... I mean, I'd do Gragas before Zach personally to, you know, throw wrenches into things, but FlyQuest have to be pinching jungle with this.
Exactly. So currently in the series, a lot of AD carry bans have been being thrown forward. A lot of bans targeted the Huhi. But yeah, as you mentioned, let's get OmarGod out of here.
Yeah.
Almost guarantees a first pick Jarvan if that's not banned by CLG. And they're really trying to hit OmarGod's effective pool.
And hey, CLG could set up a trade because they know FlyQuest basically have to first pick Jarvan here. Otherwise, you've just completely screwed your own champ select over. So now Tristana is up.
Yep.
You know, if you have something else very important like the Cho'Gath that CLG was afraid of before, they can grab that as well. They could take Rakan away if they really want to, though they've prioritized Thresh. But I feel like you'd expect Cho'Gath plus whatever I said a second ago, Tristana.
Yeah,
looking at tier list.
Looking at OmarGod's champion pool as well, I agree with what you said. CLG just going for power picks right now because FlyQuest have left so many up based on this targeting of OmarGod. OmarGod has played jungle
Maokai over.
Maokai? He's played jungle Maokai, so that could actually be a jungle pick.
Fair.
Jungle Ezreal does exist as a thing in solo queue.
It's true.
Was seen
Chinese regional qualifier, right?
In the Chinese regional qualifier, but unlikely. The Thresh priority stays the same for aphromoo, which generally means we're getting Rakan through here. And Trist, which is miraculously not picked. I'm very surprised about that, as it's been an AD carry ban.
Yeah. Because of the high priority on Rakan from LemonNation, I wouldn't have expected Thresh to be taken away. So leaving the Trist up to go over means that CLG must think there's a counter pick available to them, or they were really afraid of losing Thresh, and I don't think they should have been afraid of losing Thresh. So
yeah,
they actually want to go for the double tanks. That's why they don't want Tristana. They want to go for the Maokai Cho'Gath together. They didn't have the space for it. They didn't want to lose a Thresh ban later down the line.
Right. And
it's going to be Maokai jungle, Cho'Gath top.
Exactly. OmarGod 1-3 on Maokai so far this split. Has played a good number of games with CLG, as we've mentioned, on the year. almost 45 games with the team, so.
He's getting up there. He's gotten a lot of practice, and most of it in very heavy series. Played a quarterfinal, a semifinal, a third place match. This is his 4th best of 5 for the squad in as many weeks.
So thinking about the draft now, trying to figure out why they let the Tristana over. It may have been because they just don't want him on Kog'Maw and we're hoping he'd pick Trist just because they have all these health stacking tanks.
Sure.
Is it part of it? Or they just don't think LemonNation's Rakan has been as good as aphromoo Thresh, because that's very clearly a preference there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix of the two. Certainly, the mid game is not as good for Tristana. You just cannot beat Hurricane Kog'Maw against something like a Cho'Gath here when you're playing around that champion. So that logic does follow. And it basically comes down to the lineup. Yeah, Tristana's not quite as good as you might think. And we'll see what they pick for themselves. Caitlyn has actually almost disappeared from a lot of pro play.
Yeah.
Still has a good early laning phase, but does not have nearly the same team fight power as a Tristana. That is going to be a direct weakness.
Exactly. Caitlyn has lost a lot of damage on traps, has lost a lot of damage on the Q pass-through, and lost a lot of damage via the attack speed reductions she has received in numerous patches. So I feel like even though CLG has picked this big tank team, they are opening themselves up a little bit. The Trundle is actually a better laner into the Maokai than to the Cho'Gath, in my opinion, but can still be a monster against big tank lines.
All right, and a second marksman to join the back line here. So Trundle to absorb some of the stats away, and especially if you pop the ulti after Stone Plate, you'll get a lot more damage off of him, and you'll just infinitely heal as a Trundle. You probably go to full HP and, instantly when that does come through.
Yeah.
Corki to come through in the mid lane, and now is going to be Lucian, which may be a bit scary to have the same damage type. They're going to rely on Cho'Gath to not be physical damage auto attacks. Lucian is going to come through for Huhi in the mid lane. And we'll see how well they can punch through the Trundle, Jarvan, Rakan. I feel like it might be a bit difficult for CLG if Darshan doesn't carry.
Yeah, in lane, the Lucian is a little advantaged against the Corki. Being able to dodge most of Corki's skill shots, generally lower mana cost as far as shoving the wave in as well, so that's a good lane pick for Huhi. And as you mentioned, the fear then is the late game scaling. Do they have enough damage diversity to get through what could be an armor stacking Jarvan and an armor stacking Trundle in the late game?
That will be the test of time here. This could be the last time these teams play for the entire year. As we head down to the elimination games for FlyQuest. CLG hoping to win this one here. Final thoughts? It could be time to bid farewell to FlyQuest. They do not win this one and bring it to Game 5. Lineup's on your screen, ready to go into Game 4.
Coaches for this final handshake. I have to commend FlyQuest for switching it up drastically in this ban phase, going hard on the bans for OmarGod. Whether or not it works, we'll have to see. And OmarGod has not found success on the Maokai. In fact, the games he played on it was before Maokai was nerfed. So this is an even weaker version of Maokai than OmarGod has played and lost with in the past.
So we'll see, does that pressure work out for CLG's rookie jungler? He's got 40-some games under his belt with the squad, but he's often been a weak point, at least earlier on with the squad. We'll see if he's gotten better into this one as Game 4 comes in. Moon had been such a good early game performer so far in this series. Back on his Jarvan 4 times in a row, I do believe. And Ball's actually also want to threat himself with his Trundle top lane.
Yeah, we've seen 4 Thresh games from aphromoo, 4 Rakan games from LemonNation, so they're getting pretty familiar with these champions. But as you mentioned, the rest of it, aside from the Jarvan, a little bit different this game. I'm interested by the call start from High. Oftentimes, I actually see the Lucian go call in this matchup because he wants to just get to that Blade of the Ruined King Black Cleaver spike as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty dangerous for High to be in this lane with call against a Maokai.
Maybe he's assuming that Moon's pressure will be so good that Lucian's not allowed to play hyper-aggressive. And he has to respect that at all times. If he dashes forward, he might just die to a Jarvan, and if he's not getting dashed on, he shouldn't take too much damage. See what goes. High picking a different color scheme than Huhi did. Huhi goes for all black, High goes for pink and white. Chroma power. Sadly, there is no Star Guardians in this game, and that's disappointing.
Well, I don't think they're on a patch where they're even in the game.
That's also true. Well, the first run. They can play with Jinx and stuff. Hook's gonna land!
Or not much to be seen, except everyone revealing themselves.
But
Hello.
High's at half HP without a Doran shield, and the lane started.
And he has a call. Get back to base, man, quick.
That's going to be too late. He's going to rely on Warlord's Bloodlust and the 3 life on hit from Cole. I think it's 3. It is. Well, it's going to be a super leash, though. AoE out of High. Going to help with the auto attacks as well. I mean, he's really leashing this guy. He stole one.
He's taking some.
He did. He took one.
Yeah.
He's going to level up early as a result. So it's a new little cheeky thing. High's going to be level 2 off the first wave. He will not miss XP.
Huh. I want to see how this factors in for Moon, because he got the super leash, so to speak. But now, it looks like he still might have enough experience to hit level 3 off of Blue.
I think he won't, but that said, I haven't ever done this before, so we'll see what happens.
Was this an intentional ploy? Or was it just High saying, dude, I'm behind in laning phase, give me some Raptors?
It really did look intentional, and even still, Huhi gets level 2 first. So he was in control of the lane. High was injured, couldn't stand up to him for the 1v1.
I think he gets level 3.
Okay, you're right, he does. So we didn't need, I think he actually forsook 2 of the Raptors.
Yeah. Raptors just have so much experience at level 1.
They do.
For you, because the camps all spawn at level 2. You get a little bonus for killing something higher level. There's so many of the little Raptors. That's what makes it the most efficient experience-wise camp to take at the start of the game. Many junglers create entire plans around getting those first.
And now we're going to see with the level 2 spike. Flay's going to land, Hook's going to land a turtle as well. Right onto a trap, and he actually walked into it. Ignite is on. He might just die. Is he going to flash for it? Yes, he will. First blood comes through to Stixxay. 3 summoners used, 2 on the other side.
And the arm time of the trap is actually such that you have to flay someone into it now, which is what aphromoo is able to do. Omar going on a Moon at the Raptor return as well.
And he took a lot of damage to that one. The Flay as well onto another trap.
Again.
He's got Flash himself with LemonNation. He's going to be hit by the Q, and he goes down. Stixxay despite the nerfs. 2 kills already, and that's why they picked the champions.
That early laning phase, everyone else backs away from Caitlyn, but as Stixxay was the first to it, he's going to be the last one to get off of it as well. So much success in the early laning phase, but aphromoo landing the hooks and the flays perfectly to set that one up. We're going to watch the first blood one more time. Has one trap down, pops another one.
Could have flashed, but he walked into it.
Yeah, actually did not flay perfectly onto the trap, but then a double flash. Auto from Afro and an auto from Stixxay to secure the kill.
He also healed after Ignite, which is unfortunate, losing 70 health there, and this one's just really a nice hook.
Yeah, that one perfectly flayed back into it. Not in range to auto attack, but as LemonNation stops to throw out a Gleaming Quill, that's when he gets hit by the Peacemaker.
Well, big stuff out of this one, and look at that with the lane priority. Huhi forcing a pretty crappy recall out of High. It's a 1.5 stacked wave. It's a cannon, so it takes longer, but he's going to miss some of that farm as it pushes in. CLG up 1,600 gold before 5 minutes.
Flashless Stixxay, flashless Thresh. That's why Moon is down here. Hoping that CLG stay aggressive.
Yeah, it's 1 summoner per side. A heal for Stixxay, an Ignite for LemonNation. Moon winning in the wings. Shouldn't have been seen coming in. Unless he was spotted coming down Krug, and I don't know if he was.
Don't think so. He also backed away as aphromoo checked the brush. This could very well be a fight. CLG has the wave that will crash in.
Yeah, it'll eventually walk towards Moon.
They have a control ward. They might place it. They've already placed it short.
I think, was that Moon's ward, though? Like, was it obvious that it was Moon's ward? I couldn't tell if Turtle did that himself. That could have given it away.
Definitely going to be recalling, though. And it's gone. COD safe.
Moon's out regardless, so he's going to be fine on this one. And here's a jump in for Huhi. Nice little juke to the side. High gets away from the piercing light, but still taking a ton of auto attacks. And he's out of mana again. He's out of health. And this could be a freeze if Huhi wants it to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I was a little confused about the call. He's going to lose the all-in so hard against Huhi, who's just stacking attack damage. On top of that, because of that being pushed back at level 1, didn't bail himself out of that by taking the few small Raptors. So Huhi really understanding this matchup, all-inning, already even burned High's exhaust.
Yeah, just crushing right now. Huhi is smashing this lane, +9 right now. Certainly did get some help via the pre-minion level 1, the hook and the half HP Corki, and it's snowballing. And now it's going to be a giant XP lead as well. Huhi going to be easily the first to hit level 6. Even after this like 3rd recall from High, Huhi still has better items than him. And there's the ulti. And at what point does High have to respect that?
Yeah, if the Maokai comes in, High can clear a lot of difference with Valkyrie being 800 range and still flash, so mostly safe of ganks. It's just a matter of getting rid of this freeze, which is why he's spamming the spells on the way, but Huhi will all in during that pattern.
And Jarvan was right there behind him. If Huhi gone for the all-in right then, Moon would have been in range of him. OmarGod waiting in the wings, going to be spotted by this ward. I think he saw it go down.
He's hoping for a fight, maybe.
Good damage, happy to be OmarGod. Huhi can't join. See the kind of damage Moon can deal, though. That's without any damage items at all. He's still just on the Tracker's Knife. Another trade coming in. Huhi not yet going for the ultimate. Gets high down to 2/3 yet again, though.
Yeah, easily able to just dash forward and go for those trades as long as they have eyes on Jarvan. The dash is free to be used. When they don't have eyes on Jarvan, he can still dash away from the EQ. Lucian, a very skill-intensive mid laner, Huhi performing very well.
Good juke on that hook. Right now, a small minion lead, 2 balls in the top lane. That's going close enough to equal. It doesn't matter right now. Mid lane, of course, obvious advantages to the CLG members, and bot lane the same as OmarGod looks to find Moon.
And this is a really important moment in the game where FlyQuest need to fight back. Their red jungle is being taken over, their bottom lane is being pushed in, but if the hooks keep landing...
Lantern's gonna come in, or sorry, the flay, the rain work. Traps as well. Bam, the cupcake comes in, the Q's gonna land on a WildTurtle down below half HP.
Because they're already down so much in this game. What can they do to get themselves back in it?
Well, they might exhaust Huhi for this one. He might have gone in for a bit too much. The damage could be there, but High running out of mana. The calling almost brings him in. The flash, and the flash to get away. Huhi missed a couple of bullets, but the trade went close to equal. 4 summoners down in the mid lane now. But bot lane's so low on health as well. That turret almost dead. A nice lantern brain. A pillar comes in from Trundle, forcing a flash away from Darshan. First turret lights the way for CLG like a lantern.
Perfect.
As Stixxay takes it down. That
full
was
circle.
A segue if I've ever seen one.
Made it. Good job. But FlyQuest unable to play defense there. They lose the bottom turret. High unable to turn around anything onto Huhi, and that lead has gotten much larger. So in this elimination game, FlyQuest do not have the start they were hoping for, and now we have an Infinity Edge Caitlyn, we have the Lucian building up towards the Rune King, and where do they go next?
That's actually insane. That is an 8:30 Infinity Edge.
It's really early.
Statistically speaking, 9-minute Infinity Edge win a lot of games, if you didn't know.
Interesting how they go right back down to the bottom lane. They're going to make sure they get this wave shoved out before they move mid. But what's hurting FlyQuest here is that High is also getting out-pressured mid. So he's without summoner spells. If Huhi just goes in for a few aggressive trades on him, then they can maybe go for that. But Moon catches Darshan as he's going down the river.
And they know he's flashless. Balls calls it out, so the Cataclysm means there's no way in for this one. A couple of knockouts come through, and there's literally nowhere for him to go. Here comes OmarGod. They want to fight 1 for 0 so far. The ulti already popped by Trundle. Can they get more? High cutting back. Gets knocked down by Huhi, though, in this one. The Thresh in there as well for the box, and another kill comes through as they've knocked down 2, and suddenly Balls is alone. The health, maybe from the Gleaming Quills, and the shields, and everything else. WildTurtle's joining the fight. Second kill comes in now for FlyQuest. Looking out aphromoo. They're going to knock him down. They will. One more attack will do it. A double for the Trundle. That was actually a fight lead for FlyQuest. 3-2 so far. Continuing, though, as the Huhi out of mana. Lucian will not get any farther. FlyQuest do win that one by +1.
And all 3 kills go over to Balls' Trundle, so he will need to be a split push threat in this game, but he ults to stay alive. He keeps healing off of his passive as they kill more and more people, and almost just drain tanks his way through that fight. What a ridiculous series of events, though, as we'll see in the replay. It looked like the package knocked Darshan out of the Cataclysm and nearly moved him to safety.
Yeah, it was a little weird. He definitely died slow.
Yeah, so here we go. They know he's flashless. Moon waiting as he's making a roam towards the mid lane because CLG was setting up a play to take the mid turret. They ult as Balls is on his way in, so either the pillar or the package knock him out. It's the package knocking him right out of the Cataclysm. They drop down early, the pillar's there, and it delays for a fairly long time.
Yeah.
Afro's here first, but Stixxay's not. So eventually, FlyQuest can get their whole team over here before CLG can get their whole team over here. It's just that one little Trundle who's in there, gets the shield from LemonNation, starts healing from his passive. Aphromoo's in the fray, but Huhi just doesn't want to go for the Trundle because he knows how tanky he is, and then instead tries to focus WildTurtle, who gets the reset on his rocket jump. So it goes a little awry for CLG at the end.
And it brings the game a little bit closer. 2,500 gold difference, still, of course, massive farm leads for Stixxay, and a blessing for CLG. An early Infernal Drake, going to help those double marks spin quite a lot. Should feel good about this one as they push forward. Completed enchant done for OmarGod. Not that yet for Moon, though, so obviously a power spike there. Spike comes through. OmarGod actually under-leveled against Moon, but better gold.
Looks like the top lane camp is on as well. Still
no flash, yeah, and there's the cataclysm. There is literally nothing Darshan can do about this. He's got to sit there and die. They made sure Ball's in the ring first. And a 2v1 cage match, that's against the rules, but it still comes through. Now a fight in the mid lane as Huhi and High trading blows.
Yeah, what year is this? Ball's 4-0-0 in the top lane. Getting ganked so much. Trying to come back to that carry form. He had good defensive play last game, even though he ended up getting snowballed on by Darshan and the rest of CLG. So it's a hard life for Trundle in this game. I still think, as far as dealing with the double marksman, they can shred him at a certain point. So he has to play very smart in the split push game to avoid these team fights.
But he's got a lot of goals. We'll see how much more he can do. Aphromoo pulls aggros. The minion wave had died briefly, and they will be bot lane tier 2 falling in favor of Counter Logic Gaming. They will remain and retain that one turret lead they had earlier from their bot lane priority. Runkin getting close to done for Huhi, and Stixxay should have a lot of gold to buy with soon enough. Esports does his best to catch up and farm. And little presents keep being left all around this jungle.
Yeah, CLG trying to maintain as much control as possible down there. Really, wherever they move the Caitlyn, they can find an advantage right now. But there will come a time, we think, assuming that WildTurtle is able to get some farm, the Trish would find a way to outscale, but that just doesn't happen when leads are this big sometimes, because items still multiply together, even if your attack speed scaling isn't the same.
I mean, at the end of the day, being a better carry versus not, unless you're like literally Kog'Maw with like really free benefits, they're just stat comparisons. Rapid Fire is an amount of attack speed, and their base stats is an amount of attack speed, and right now, Stixxay has much more gold in stats regardless of what level WildTurtle is, and the same for Stixxay. So certainly a better situation for this Caitlyn right now. It will take a long time for Turtle to catch up.
Yeah, 2,000 gold lead over there. High cashed in his call just a few moments ago.
Also a Dark Seal, which I don't think I've ever seen on Corki.
Neither have I, but I can kind of understand why he did it with the refillable potion already.
Yeah, and it's not like AP's bad on him.
Yeah, he's got a few AP ratios on Missile as well as on Phosphorus Bomb.
I've actually seen AP Corki played in competitive play. The 2014-15 expansion tournament, actually, it got played. I mean, Leandries and stuff.
I can remember Xiao going Leandries, Corki, and
I think it's a good item.
Some really important games.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Just a different style is all. It's very poke-based. Either way, inhibitor turret's being attacked 14 minutes in. Lantern gets him out of the way. Wasn't quite fat enough. Moon maybe working out too much. Didn't have the body to do it. Should have played Gragas. You would have hit him with that one. Nice shots at a turtle. Look at the health bar just evaporating. Whew. Burns Summoner heal and his ultimate to get away.
Yeah, and CLG had pressure to bottom lane, rotating up top lane right now. High has package, but they're still pretty far behind. They're just hoping to repel this push.
He could have used it to immune the hook if he wanted to, but chose to juke, and he guessed correctly which way aphromoo was aiming, and he still has that for a bit longer. Only lasts a minute in total, and it's probably about halfway done by now. See, the next play could come in. Cho'Gath starting to roam down across the map, so Darshan might join this mid lane fight soon. Trundle still in the bot lane, so CLG could be 5v4. Here's the ulti out of OmarGod. They just now see it. Right as package comes in for the minions line, so suddenly this Corki's in the wrong spot, and Darshan's about to find him. No ulti yet for Stixxay. He flashed to get away.
There's that unique shot calling from High. They're tapping our turret. Go the other way. He's actually made it through the entire team.
He's fine.
Saved the turret, and can probably get away.
He's going to get spotted. He's got to keep running. Darshan pings him. Valkyrie used that. Actually, he's still fine. There's no one who should be in range. The Thresh is coming, but Rakan can stop.
Honestly, what a play by High right there.
I mean, it was clean. It was still
gonna lose the turret.
Yeah, okay, sure. That sealed you with the gold lead in effect right there.
But that was a dive, and he bought at least 30 seconds of time from that turret.
All right, well, cool. Either way, CLG now up 3,000 gold. They do still come out the advantaged party in this. Darshan gonna look for the rupture. Juked nicely by High. But the Bramble Vessel already done, and here comes the teleport in. Balls wants this one. Well, it's going to be the pillar, which stops the other half of the lantern, actually. The flash came out a little bit too late from Thresh, so OmarGod caught on this side of it, but still going to be fine. TP for flash, comparable trade.
Yeah, I'm curious where he's going to go with his build from here, because I've seen a few different variations of the split-pushing Trundle. He's got Ravenous Hydra now, which is kind of the optimal split-pushing item. He's completed this Ninja Tabi, but from here, does he go anything for stickiness in the split-push? Does he go tankiness? Or does he go for more damage? Because they all influence the way he ends up playing the game. If he wants to team fight, he actually just needs to get tankier.
Yeah.
So Spirit Visage would be a good item. He has the Ninja Tabi for a little bit of armor, and then maybe something like a Randwoods. But you can also go with Iceborne Gauntlet, or something like a Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah.
If he wants to split push. So from the looks of it now, he's going initially tanky, which tells me FlyQuest want to team.
Yeah, keep in mind that outside of the Cho'Gath, who, to be fair, is going to do plenty of magic damage, Maokai probably not nearly as notable. It's double marksman, and they are both going to build crit right now, right? This Caitlyn is obviously off to the races. This is a great Brandwood's Omen game, which, nicely enough, does have a slow to provide to help you with the chase down. And I think that item should join his inventory at some point, even if he's going to buy that and a Thornmail. I think it's probably still worth it, but yeah, I think you've got to go hard armor tanking. Moon going for Merc Treads, I'm a little surprised by, just because it's, yes, it does affect 3 members of the opposing team in a meaningful way, but again, you're against double marksman. This is the kind of game where I think you really want 4 Ninja Tabbies.
Yeah, I tend to agree, especially with the kill distribution on CLG. Darshan not as big as he has been in past games.
It is kind of tough itemizing against Cho'Gath because you want to build health for the ultimate, but then health doesn't work against the E, which does % health damage. So
Health and resists.
Yeah, I know. It's like you can buy MR, but then you're against Lucian Caitlyn, you feel bad buying like a no magic mantle ever.
Yeah.
And it's there's just enough threats in all the directions that you just kind of have to build a bit generalist.
Yeah, and I mean, we were worried about CLG's damage types and allowing FlyQuest to stack armor. But for in the meanwhile, they're actually building a decent amount of magic resist in respect for the Maokai and the Cho'Gath. So as of now, the double AD is not a problem whatsoever for CLG. Whether or not that's because FlyQuest had to build MR or they chose to improperly is still up for debate.
I know I've seen a FlyQuest game where their first items on all 5 champions were Ninja Tabby when they were against a literally full physical team. So I know they often have the smarts for it. LemonNation is a great theory crafter. I respect them a lot on that trend. We'll see if they can find the next little play here. CLG looking at top lane, and the outer likely to fall. Moon gonna get spotted by a sapling. Nice by OmarGod. A quick chomp, the Rift Herald comes through, and it's a clean stack for Darshan. It counts as an epic monster, I do believe. So doesn't work against the cap of 6 smaller bites.
Yeah, the way I think about Cho'Gath's feast stacks is he's going to get 6 no matter what. Everyone basically just feasts minions in the wave on cooldown until they're at 6. Then it's all about what is your cap. He's feasted 1 Rift Herald, so currently his cap is 7. He's going to get to that fairly soon. At that point, it's just champion kills, Drake kills, Herald kills, Baron kills. There was the last game he played Cho'Gath where he had 6 non-minion feasts, so his cap was 12, and that was a massive carry game. Pretty rare that you get that high on Cho'Gath. So
that's true.
Definitely not up to the same start he was last game, but the objective control with CLG being in this position definitely has a chance to get Baron or Mountain Drake in the next several minutes.
And just to reinforce your point, Jack, to speak the numbers, he is at 6 stacks, you said, and 5 of them are on the small ones. So yes, that cap is 7 until he finds another big target. Just re-quoting what you said, Darshan's a big boy. He's building towards that Thornmail and everything else. He's actually got a lot of components. I don't think there's any Giant Spelt Negatron Cloak items, so he's piecing a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
It also doesn't go into Bramble Vest, so he's got 3 different major items in mind.
Yeah, he is probably going to sit on the Bramble Vest for the healing reduction. He wants Warm Logs as soon as he can get it, and then Stone Plate right after that to empower his fist. So there is logic in his items. It's just slowly piecing it together. But more so, FlyQuest is in a difficult situation because they're getting kind of pushed across the map, and now Moon is snuck behind them. So when Huhi shows on the other lane, FlyQuest might go for a fight. Oh, Rift Herald. Flyman interrupted.
He should package. I don't think he saw. He's going to package to the mid lane, though. But look at that hook coming in. LemonNation doesn't quite kill him, though, here to the back line. They're going to look to knock down Stixxay, and they get the gold leader off the map. The re-engage, so the trap comes through. Both marksmen now dead. Now High forced to run. He burns the Valkyrie, burns the flash. Knockup's going to find the support. And a flay perfection out of aphromoo means another kill comes through. Advantage so far, CLG +1. Look for the flash chase. The exhaust comes in late. A kill for Huhi, 3-1 in the mid lane. Herald still alive, looking for more.
And Freak Balls never joined the fight on Trundle. They had the initiation, they had Stixxay down, but then the second marksman joined the fight before the Trundle could. So CLG with the 3 kills looked to open up the inhibitor.
They're going to find an advantage turret trade as well as Balls is going to stay in the bot lane. He's not going to burn the TP, the ult, but nothing. Inhibitor will fall in the mid lane, 21 minutes in. CLG finally with a kill lead for themselves. Bot lane tier 2 should be traded if Balls gets his damage in properly. And it's going to be a bit close. The Caitlyn's coming, but this should still go to the
having the inhibitor down really hurts FlyQuest's ability to play around Baron.
He could die. 3 coming to him.
Yeah.
He's got to somehow outsmart this. He's been spotted. He's going to jump this way. The Flay's going to come in, the Lantern, and the hook should be secured.
Yeah, still has flash, but with the hook landing, he's done.
There's no way out. The kill's going to come through, and that means it's extended a 4-1 in favor of FlyQuest. In the meantime, that team gets a little bit of Baron control for now. They know Ball's TP is still up, and he saved his ultimate. He'll be on the field soon enough. And I do believe that Ball's got 2 turrets to his name.
Yeah, right there, High could have packaged to interrupt that Rift Herald, but they were looking for the initiation instead. They do force moves out of Stixxay, then line him up for the combos. But from there, no Trundle joins this fight. Could have teleported in on the Demacian standard behind CLG. They do not. The rest of the fight is just tanks from CLG moving through. Turtle is down, High is low, and then Huhi joins the fight before Trundle does, and that's all she wrote.
A nice little play right there by Huhi to get that flash kill, because I think if High wasn't dead, I think the wave through was going to be there and they wouldn't get the inhibitor. But a great flash, a great chase out of Huhi. This game, 5,000 apart. Huhi alone. Here comes everything. The knockup is going to land. They're likely to get this kill. Lucian, not long for the world. He'll buy some time. He wants to kill off High. He's going to win the duel and kite it back, and you got to be kidding me. He survives the 1v2 and even thrives in it. But nice little pillar, but the rupture's too good. Huhi's still getting away. The ulti's still ticking away for damage, so Huhi could fall to the King's Tribute, and it will not quite do it. Stixxay getting this kill on the wing. Huhi staying alive, and now the culling coming across. And would you believe it? Yes, the kill's still flying through for CLG. 3 for 0.
Yeah, and that's a doozy for FlyQuest to come back from. This is putting CLG in such a strong position. If they close this game out, they move on to the finals of the regional qualifier. Now they turn for Baron.
This seems incredibly likely now. This lead is almost insurmountable. 23 minutes, 15 seconds, and CLG looks at Baron with the entire team. Huhi coming in from the side. And FlyQuest not even all alive just yet. This is almost certainly the match.
Huhi has been a superstar lately for CLG. The outplay there as LemonNation expends so much to get on him. Kills High, ignores LemonNation, gets away from the Trundle down the stretch. Heals back up, gets Baron, continues the push.
He hasn't recalled yet. That was all from the same fight. He's still at half HP. Ruin King Lifesteal. Pretty nice to have him with Baron buff on. CLG keep pushing. Now, they are sitting with lots of gold in pockets. There were no recalls, as we mentioned, so a lot of this lead isn't in their inventories just yet, but they are powerful. They're ready to keep going. Static Shiv, Infinity at second Zeal. Stixxay is big.
Definitely trying to play off the map pressure right now, but as you mentioned, sitting on a lot of gold, have the trap set up. So they think they can get this without recalling. aphromoo goes back, tries to speed up the minion wave. They want this now.
Here we go, looking for the attacks. Moon flash for the knockup. Here comes the backline. X as well with the charm. The first damage coming across, and Turtle gets one off on the Stixxay. Into the backline, exhausted, and Huhi High still staying alive, finds the shots, forces them away. The marksmen are out of the fight, but High gonna get chopped down. And a double kill for Darshan. Trades on to aphromoo. So far, 3v3 in the fight. Into the backline, Turtle finds one, he flashes. He makes it happen. The kill's coming through, a triple for Tristana. And it's only the Cho'Gath. He's trying to eat the world, and he gets one. He managed to chew down into that one, but look, it's a 2v1, and Balls is way too big to die for this one. He's gonna get this one picked up. Darshan just not going to survive at all. The shutdown goes through to Moon. And fly by a few more minutes. They've got to get back to their base because there's minions inside, but they get the ace.
Yeah, backs against the wall. They keep their season alive. And it looks like they're going to be able to save their Nexus turrets here. So that is a classic example of pushing with a bunch of gold in your inventory and not actually having the gold lead. At least 6,000 gold in their inventory before this fight. And Stixxay moves forward before his tank line gets charmed, instantly killed. WildTurtle is in a cataclysm. He doesn't care. It's all about carry execution for FlyQuest. They all go past the tanks to try and push them out of the fight as much as possible. And Darshan is a wrecking crew in that fight, but Turtle just keeps jumping past him. Flashes it forward again, but doesn't realize Darshan still has his feast. That's a little ridiculous as he feasts him as he's rocket jumping away, but from there, they clean up the ace narrowly as Darshan actually pushes a lot of damage onto Moon while Ball slowly smacks him to death.
And adds to the stat cap, of course. The big boy. Mountain Drake killed during the replay. CLG got back on the map in time. A lot of that is because the inhibitors were down, and it meant that FlyQuest was stuck inside their base. Rapid Fire Cannon now done. These marksmen have identical item builds, aside from that one Doran's Blade. So this is where I would give the edge to WildTurtle in a stand-up fight. The question, though, is can he kill a Cho'Gath before a Caitlyn can kill a Trundle? And the answer is maybe.
Yeah, absolutely agree with Trish being stronger than Caitlyn, but the Lucian is also stronger than the Corki right now, and Darshan has 5 kills on the Cho'Gath. Of course, the Trundle, if he ults the Cho'Gath, gains a lot of tankiness, so there are actually still ways for FlyQuest to pull this one back.
Yeah. Trundle can be really good in a Cho. Again, the armor shred, but also take % max health. You pop the stone plate, you lose a lot of it right away. Looking at the back line, Huhi getting away just barely. And a nice little bit of a knockup coming through here in this OmarGod on the front line, pops his own stone plate, but running out of health. Huhi gets the kill on elimination, and no kill onto the Maokai. Now you've got Stixxay on the bottom side of the fight cutting back, but he's going to stay alive against the Trundle and getting more damage across. Ball's going to lose this fight 1v2. He's running out of health bars, and he is gone. The chase coming in for WildTurtle gets one despite the flay, and he's got to be careful getting away, and he's going to find the double kill as Huhi, and the chop comes in as well, meaning it's an ace, and it's going to be the Nexus. Counter Logic Gaming will close out the series. They take it 3-1. It's going to be the base. There's no way they don't get this one right now. It'll take some time, but it's over.
Yeah, Darshan is massive. He stone plates the turrets. He ignores them. The minions are coming through. Huhi and Darshan showing up in the clutch. The fastest game of the series.
Sub 28 minutes. Counter Logic Gaming are now 1 series away from heading back to the World Championship. They will face the final boss in Cloud9, and they're looking to pad their stats a little bit more. Nexus finally falls. GG. 1 more to go for CLG.
They had to work for it, but in the end, they move on to play another best of 5. The 3-1, OmarGod got hammered in the ban phase. All 3 bans right towards him. Still picks Maokai. Is successful.
Immediately they run over.
Going over for the handshakes. Their Cinderella story is not to be this year.
Yep.
They were able to take down Team Dignitas and win game 1 in this series, but fall in the next 3.
Yeah, FlyQuest back into a pumpkin. Still, it's so funny because the expectations were so low for them that I think it's actually still smiles on their faces and smiles for their fans because they had that glimmer of happiness, that 3-0 against Team Dignitas, a solid series against CLG. But of course, happiness even higher for CLG, their family in attendance as well. And they have 1 more opponent left. Cloud9 awaits them tomorrow.
Xmithy's dad giving congratulations. Still a CLG fan. Hoping to get Xmithy's old team and Xmithy's current team into the World Championship. And that will all be decided tomorrow. As CLG try to carry this momentum through. A lot has been made about the jungle shuffle for CLG. They had Xmithy. He's found so much success on Immortals. They had Dardoch. And now they have OmarGod. Played his 47th game as a CLG starter. So getting that experience in with all these playoff games. So many best of 5s now coming through. That's what this is his 4th best of 5 he's now played on CLG.
Yeah, should be his 4th.
Yeah, and 5th one will come up tomorrow.
3 in the playoff run, 2 in the regional qualifier. They did survive this one. They took down an unlikely opponent in FlyQuest, but beat them all the same. And again, I've probably said it 17 times, but it's what this match is about. Fighting Cloud9 tomorrow at noon, best of 5, which will actually be the final team to qualify for Worlds because EU would have finished their series by that point. Yeah. Because they start 4 hours early. So the last spot at the World Championship will be played for tomorrow.
Yeah, and this regional qualifier run is tough in a lot of ways, right? You're preparing for FlyQuest. You have all these quirky picks and strategies, right? They're throwing out this strange stuff. You don't know what High is going to be playing. They completely switch up their bans in the last game. I mean, at one point, COD was trying to pull out a mid-Fiora to counter what FlyQuest was going to be doing. And now you're going up against a team in Cloud9 who you also haven't seen forever.
Since the quarterfinals. They didn't play semis, they didn't play 3rd place match, and they didn't play the last 2 days either. So C9 get their 2-3 weeks of secret as well.
Exactly. In the history of the regional qualifier, we haven't had a team have this long of a break before being the final boss. Because oftentimes it's the loser of a 3rd place match or something that ends up having the highest remaining championship points to precede. But because C9 failed in the quarterfinals and ended their summer split early, they still had enough points based on spring. So there's going to be that huge question of if they're rusty or if they're prepared super well. And it just makes tomorrow unpredictable and exciting.
And it almost makes it the real 3rd place match. Now, who is the final team? Who is the 3rd best team in North America in current form? It was not Team Dignitas. It was not FlyQuest. The question now is it Counter Logic Gaming or Cloud9? But now to get some more insight on that, we're going to head stage side where Olivia has the interview with the victorious mid laner.
Thanks, guys. guys, great cast on the day. I'm here with Huhi. Congratulations on your victory over FlyQuest. You beat them, you got to play Aurelion Sol. How did this series go from your perspective?
It was definitely harder than what we thought. We thought it was going to be pretty easy, but FlyQuest pulled out pretty strong, and it was really hard to defeat them, and we're glad that we could have pulled it out.
How was playing against Ty in the mid lane? He mentioned yesterday that he was feeling confident but a little nervous going up against you.
Going against Ty, I felt pretty confident myself, but I was a little nervous of his smartness, I guess. He uses his team really well. He knows how to play League of Legends, obviously. Like, he's been playing around for a while, so he just knows how to use his resources, and he did punish me a lot with it.
Now, I want to ask, you guys did have a long pause during your series. When it comes to these long pauses, how do you and your team maintain composure and maintain focus?
Usually we keep talking about the game. If we're allowed to talk during the pause, we talk about like what scenario is going to go through. Like are we going to do something as a team? Are we going to reset? Like something like that. Or we also track summoners cooldown in that time. And we just try to keep making conversations so that we don't lose our focus.
Well, because of your victory here today, you have moved on to the finals in the regional qualifiers. Tomorrow you play Cloud9 and you go against Jensen. What are your thoughts on tomorrow's matchup?
I think it's pretty similar with High, but he's also mechanically really talented, so it should be harder than FlyQuest for sure. So we just have to play like CLG does as a team. We can beat Cloud9 easily.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and good luck on your match tomorrow. We're going to throw it on over to the analyst desk.
Thank you, Avali. 3-1 victory for CLG on the day, losing the first, winning the next 3 in a row in order to take it. But Huhi there saying it wasn't as easy as they expected coming in here against FlyQuest.
I think a lot of people are a little surprised, just especially with how game 1 went, where they had the questionable draft. And then a lot of times in these games, FlyQuest had a lot of moments where you could tell that they were playing well. They would get kills in mid lane. They would bounce back off some skirmishes, but it never felt like they were quite as cohesive come the late game.
I mean, that's the big thing for me is that FlyQuest had good moments or good things going on in one part of the map, but it never really felt like everything was working at the same time. You know, Balls in this last game very clearly having a good game on the Trundle, but things really falling apart elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much to say. There's anytime you get a triple kill on a Trundle against a Cho'Gath and you get really fed, you're like, hey, he should probably run over this game in the split push. But CLG were able to keep grouping up, keep forcing fights, so it couldn't be that effective.
It becomes less of a sure thing when you got double kills going over on the other side of the map in the bot lane. Yep. Stixxay and aphromoo coming up with a couple big 2v2 kills in order to put themselves quite far ahead on the Caitlyn pick of all things.
Yeah, and I think we saw him come back at 8.5 minutes with an Infinity Edge.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Caitlyn in a while, but it comes back in the meta, or at least this game, and looks like this. It's disgusting.
I mean, the funny thing about it is it's one of those games where if this is solo queue, this is like an open mid game when they come back at 8 minutes with solo gold from the first turret and an IE, but Stixxay didn't even really end up doing that much in the game. It really wasn't about him. They did use the Caitlyn, I think, very well, after these great plays. The trap being actually activated by playing them into that, very nice, but it was mostly just about sieging, right? Like, they used the Caitlyn to go around the map, to take a bunch of turrets, to get some gold, but Stixxay was actually dying in a lot of the team fights themselves.
In almost all of the team fights, Stixxay was going down, but again, having pulled so much focus from some of those divers of the opposing team, Huhi opened up in that case to be able to dive or move forward on the Lucian and actually weave some autos in throughout those team fights.
You gotta give some credit to FlyQuest understanding that the big problem for them is if this Caitlyn stays alive in this team fight, we're gonna get smashed, and they intelligently kind of all in that one champion, because once she dies, the DPS drops a lot. And there was one fight in the mid lane where they killed him early, but Balls didn't TP in, went for the split push, and they end up losing their mid inhibitor basically off that. And it's a play where it's hard to criticize Balls, but if he came in there and helped clean up the rest of that fight, maybe that's where they could have won.
And I mean, it's a hard call to make because A, you don't know if someone is saying we lost the fight, don't TP, and B, if your team can somehow hold on in that fight, he gets 2 turrets for free, right? And that's the kind of advantage that's so big, like getting the solo gold and you're already ahead. Because on Trundle, even with this more defensive build that he's going, you get to the point basically where he was, that you just ignore the Cho'Gath's damage, you ignore whoever's damage is there, and you actually just right-click on the turrets, and you no longer have to care about them. And you can win a game simply through doing that if your team can hold on the other side of the map.
Yeah, very much so. It was well played out of CLG, though, to push their advantages early with that Caitlyn. Get her out of the lane phase, utilize that, high amount of AD that she got so early on to start pressuring those turrets and open up the map, create chaos on the side of FlyQuest. Now, the Rift was packed with playmakers, but one player in particular really shined, and we'd like to award him Player of the Series, and that honor goes to Darshan. It was a close race, though, between him, aphromoo, and Huhi, in all honesty.
Stepped up huge in the series, been stepping up all season long. When he was on tanks, he was able to become a monster frontline. Also picked up a lot of kills in those games as well on Cho'Gath. A huge performance out of him, as well as having that great Jax game.
Yeah, I mean, the Jax game was fantastic. He was a good frontliner, and I do think that Darshan is someone who has been going a bit under the radar as far as his performance in the NALCS, especially the split. Like he was not voted in even the first, second, or third all top laner teams.
I
right?
put him up there. I put him on mine.
That's right.
All right, well, so did I actually. Yeah. So all three of us, I guess, are on the Darshan train.
But he didn't make it.
But he didn't actually get voted in, and it actually wasn't even really very close.
No, right.
He was actually a pretty distant fourth. So that was surprising to me because Darshan was actually like over 50 kills above the second place as far as total kills on the season. He has played very, very well. I think that people sometimes discredit Darshan and Huhi because there's this mentality about like how they used to play, right? And people still think about how they used to make all these bad mistakes and how Darshan had this really long stretch where he was playing very poorly and Huhi was really inconsistent. But these guys have been crushing for a while now, and people need to stand up and take notice.
I mean, that as well as the fact that even when they're playing things or champions that would, look to solo carry games, such as a Jax, Darshan is instead grouping, team fighting, finding ways to play with the other four members of his team. So it's very rare that you ever look at one member of CLG and go, oh, they just outshined everyone else by so much. He is the true carry. We have to give him accolades.
I think it's just a little bit of a problem in general where people are very slow in League of Legends as fans to kind of adjust their thinking that for this split or for this season, this guy has been one of the better players. I mean, like we always say, there's so many talented top laners. I think it would be hard to say for sure Darshan's the best, but performance-wise, I think you'd have to say he was arguably the best this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been playing very well, right? And that is mostly the point. And another thing, working for CLG, which is going to be very interesting tomorrow against Cloud9, and people have been bringing it up, is the fact that there's kind of these unique champion pools, right? And it is Huhi. People talk a lot about the Aurelion Sol, the Vel'Koz, these sorts of picks. Even we saw Fiora mid today. But Darshan as well. Darshan actually plays a lot of different stuff. He plays the tanks well. He can play these split push style champions. So CLG can bring a diverse amount of comps and a diverse style of kind of threats, which does really help you out in pick ban, even if sometimes it falls flat.
I was going to say, yeah, they're so diverse that in some cases they overcalculate, outthink themselves, and hand a game over. But the 3-1 victory goes to CLG today, and after the dust settled, only CLG remain. That means there's only one match left before we know which team will be representing North America at Worlds. CLG fans made sure to show their support on Twitter and will no doubt continue to swarm social media for their match tomorrow. It all comes down to that best of 5 between Cloud9 and Counterlogic Gaming. Gentlemen, let's preview it a little bit here.
I think the point about, CLG having this diversity, this wealth of styles they can go to is actually a, pretty stark contrast to C9, who basically want to play a single way where
they play the meta.
Yeah, they play the meta. Impact's mostly going to be on tanks, not going to have too many carry performances most likely. Jensen on some kind of hard carry, usually some high DPM champion in the bot lane trying to make some plays.
I mean, I think the big point for C9 though is A, Jensen is a monster in lane. B, I think Contracts was one of the best junglers in the league this year and how they play together, right? So there have been questions about Omar. He is answering them so far. He bested Shrimp, he bested Moon, right? But is that Contracts? I think Contracts is a step above those guys, and I think that the 2v2 synergy between Jensen and Contracts is also a cut above any of the teams that they've played so far. So to me, that's going to be the big question.
And I think the other thing you have to look at, of course, is in the top lane. Darshan, we're just singing his praises, got Player of the Series this time around. Impact is someone who had been struggling towards the end of the season until he finally started getting the tanks under his belt. And then against Someday in the quarters, actually played a lot of winning matchups, was able to kind of push him in under turret, but not actually generate an advantage off of that.
there's a whole lot of factors that are going to play into tomorrow's series and determine which team comes out on top. I agree the mid lane of all things is probably the most relevant to where C9 will be a step above what FlyQuest was able to contest with today.
Yeah.
In that Jensen is, it's more about how much better Jensen is than High than it is how much better Jensen is than Huhi, right? It's that delta that Huhi's going to have to deal with.
I mean, you do have to feel like in this Aurelion Sol game, right? Where Huhi was put that far behind, if that's Jensen, I feel like the game is probably over, and maybe that is doing a disservice to High, but I do feel like he's a guy who, from an advantage, is able to push leads, is able to take over games so heavily.
Right.
So that's something that they're going to have to deal with. But either way, it's going to be super exciting. Both the teams are extremely confident, talking on social media, smoothly guaranteeing they're going to get to Worlds.
CLG saying it's their gauntlet.
CLG guaranteed they're going to get to Worlds. Like, someone's going to be coming up very disappointed.
It's exciting. The hype is there. One of these teams of the two mainstays, the old guard of the North American LCS, will be going on to Worlds. The other one, their season is going to end tomorrow. That's going to do it for us here, though, today. So on behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for the conclusion of the regional qualifiers.
We've got an exciting one on the books for you all. Best of 5, FlyQuest versus Counter Logic Gaming. Winner plays Cloud9 tomorrow for the last North American spot at Worlds. Looking like the flash, not gonna flash to follow. Darshan should be taking the damage. And you talk about needing a gate to come up. He gets it there. The stun's gonna land to get LemonNation. The hook. Oh, that was absolutely beautiful.
Fear. They flash, all flash, we win. All flash, we kill him. No flash. Nice.
The flash stun comes in onto Huhi, and he's not going to live through this one. First blood comes through onto Moon.
I'm pretty happy with this.
I agree.
I'm ulting right now. I got both. Both no flash. They're coming up. Nice.
Use what we've learned from Sun Tzu.
Brute force on the last page of his book.
You are stronger.
He says 1, 2, 3 fighting.
Really?
Silver no flash in the back. Kenny no flash.
Jarvan.
Hey, front the back.
I want Silver.
He's out. Watch. In the back, guys. Carries. Help your carries. Kill Silver and help your carries. Help your carries.
We got it.
Come back. Yes, Evan.
Looking for the backline. OmarGod gonna burn down with the ignite. The cannon gets the kill. High gets him. 2 alive right now. FlyQuest looks like 3 right now for CLG. Looking to chase down WildTurtle. He's gonna fall. No, I think he just wins. He's gonna win. He jukes the hook. He's just gonna win.
Let's go.
Guys, let's go. I have play Orion. Talk. No ulti on Orion.
Yeah, go.
Lantern you want it.
Lucian, not long for the world. He'll buy some time. He wants to kill up High. He's gonna win the duel and kite it back. And you gotta be kidding me. He survives the 1v2.
We can kill Thresh. Kill Thresh. Jump forward. Nice.
Watch on.
They're killing me up top. Guys,
Space coming in for WildTurtle gets 1 despite the play. And he's got to be careful getting away. And he's going to find the double kill as Huhi. And the chop comes in as well, meaning it's an ace. And it's going to be the Nexus. Counter Logic Gaming will close out the series. They take it 3-1.